Talk to him. Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. And you know where we going. We sliding over to Rivah TV, man. Let me get the everything situated. Let me get situated. I got a hot date, chat. Chat, I got a hot date. Hold on, chat. Let me get right. Hold on, chat. Let me get right. Yep, there we go. Let me get right, chat. Hold on. We sliding over to Rivah TV. Yep, let me get right. You know, you gotta create a vibe now. Chat. Hold on. Let me get right, chat. Let's get right, chat. We sliding over to Rivah TV for a reaction video. And yeah, man, I haven't watched shit 10 seconds of this. So it's gonna be fully authentic. You know how it is. It's always a great time when Classic and Rivah team up for sure. You know, so this one is actually titled Women Discovers the Truth About Men and Tells Women to Wake Up. So it should be interesting. As y'all know, Rivah is real big on holding women accountable and pushing women forward so they can actually get the results that they say they desire. And she does it with an eloquence that, you know, we all can appreciate. So without further ado, let's get it going.
I don't think it's talked about enough at how well men read women. Men can literally look at you and know so much about you.
Rivah TV.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So I actually saw this video on my own when I was scrolling through the wonderful world of TikTok, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. I literally only saw like a very small snippet of the beginning of the video, and I wanted to save the rest to watch it authentically with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play, pause, play, then give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
Before we get it popping, shout out to Rivah TV. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is my favorite content creator on all streaming platforms. Classic. It's just the truth. You know, she top 2, not 2. You understand what's going on?
I'm only gonna do this once.
But this video should be interesting. I'm interested to hear what this woman's revelations were. You know what I mean? For sure. This is different from the norm. Let's go.
You know, a lot of women get on this app and they, you know, say certain things about men, like they're dumb and things like that. And whether I agree or disagree, you know, we're not here to talk about that. But what we will talk about is,
I disagree, but okay,
is how men are very good at reading people. I don't think it's talked about enough at how well men read women. Okay, specifically, men can also judge other men very well, even they don't speak up on other men as often as they will on women. Men can literally look at you and know so much about you. And I've learned this through studying them. I've read books. One of the books I'm reading right now, Psychology of Gender, Men and Women, and also through listening to their podcasts and the videos that they watch and just watch them online. They read women like a book. You thought you knew your friends. I'm telling you, a man could come around and he will tell you, he's like your mom. You know, your mom would like, oh, that's not your friend. That's how men are. Men know what type of woman you are based off how you dressed, how you act around him and his homeboys, and even the way you act with your friends.
I want to stop right here for a second because she's preaching right now.
Yeah.
Okay, she is. She's got it. She's got it in the bag right now.
Classic.
Now, starting off with how women have this idea like, oh, men are dumb. Men don't know anything. Like women literally walk around with that narrative. I 100% disagree with that. And I always say that women who talk so negatively about men, like and generalize all of them and say that they're all bad and they're trash and they're dumb and that they're this and all these things, I always say they clearly do not know men. They clearly do not. Like, just like how she's saying, 100%, a man can analyze a person and just assess them. And not because he's not speaking up a lot, not because he doesn't talk a lot, does not mean that he doesn't know you from A to Z. That's why when men speak on the nature of women, it's very different than when women speak on the nature of men, because women speak off of ideology, thoughts, what they think, and men are speaking off of logic, right? They're speaking off of, if 1 plus 1 equals 2, you act like this, you're doing this, this is the result that we're going to get in the end. And majority of the time, they are spot on.
Yeah, I think it comes down to pragmatism, right? Like men are naturally more pragmatic. Obviously, things about men can be altered by way of, whatever form of upbringing they have, what type of household environment that they are exposed to and things like that. As we talk about all the time about how, in general, all people, men and women, are a lot softer, a lot more sensitive, a lot more delicate these days. And so yeah, I think you do have more men than usual historically operating in a space where they're more emotionally driven than the men of yesteryear. But in general, if we talking about nature, River spot on. I agree in totality. Let's go.
The what you post, all of that stuff, they are watching. They are watching you. They are forming an opinion. And might I add that they're usually not wrong when it comes to judging women. They're usually not wrong. Okay. And I personally have stopped being friends with women based off of how men treat them. Okay. Stay with me, sister. Stay with me. So I had a friend and I've been knowing her since grade school. Cool person, right? But every time we would hang out and we would talk about our dating life, she would always tell me about how men were asking her for money. Men were making her pay for the first date or go 50-50, or telling her I lost my wallet, or some egregious story happened when it was time to pay the bill, or they were asking to like borrow her car or stay with her. It was just always something, and I would be like shocked. I'd be like, girl, what are you talking? Like, I would always be so intrigued because I've never had this experience. Like, I've never been told to pay for, or asked to pay for a date. I don't do any of that. But I would be intrigued. And then when I hit 25, it was something that developed up here, the frontal lobe. I was like, oh, the reason why they are asking her these things or treating her this way is because of low self-esteem. And then I started to see it. I started to see it in the way she walked and the way she carried herself in the decisions. I started to see it naturally, right? And then I had another friend, cut her off too. She Every time we went out, it was like men just naturally spoke very dirty to her. I'm talking about like they were just very like, I'm not gonna say they're aggressive, but they were just very sexual with her.
I want to stop right here for a second because I do want to touch on what she's saying. You see, I always say this. I always say that they say that women are the reciprocators, right? Technically, in a relationship, both people are reciprocators. Okay, if we want to be technical. But a lot of times, I always say that a man is going based off of how you present yourself. If you show, nice qualities, girlfriend qualities, he makes you a girlfriend. If you show wife qualities, he makes you a wife. If you show motherly qualities, he makes you a mother. Like, people think it's the opposite. They're like, oh, women are the multipliers, and in ways we are. But I really believe that it is based off of how the woman presents herself, and that is how that basically says what kind of man you're going to get out of the man, right? Like, I don't believe that a man acts one way across the board with every woman that he deals with. I believe that based off of the woman that you are will say what kind of traits you're going to extract from a certain type of man. And so in her talking about her friend that had the low self-esteem, it's like, oh, that's why guys treat you like this. In the friend that she's talking about that she's overly, sexualized, is obviously based off of the way that she is either interacting, eye contact that she's making, something that she's doing, why she's getting certain outcomes that she's getting. And so it seems as though this woman is now understanding, like, oh, this all has to do with you. Instead of women have the mindset like, oh, it's because these guys are bad and these guys are trash. No, maybe the what you're getting out of the situation is a reflection of how you are presenting yourself.
Wait, whoa. So you mean to tell me that presentation actually does matter? You mean that with all this newfound liberation, we haven't actually made like shaking your rump online as a normal thing, suitable for wifehood? Like, are you telling me that, you know, are you kidding me? Men been right this whole time. I'm being sarcastic, but it's just like, yeah, man. Like, men been saying it for a long time. We buying whatever it is that you selling. So if you put on a 304 uniform, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be treated like a 304, don't wear the uniform. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like one of them things, and y'all know it. That's the thing about it, though. Women know it for sure, because when they do get past their 304 phase and they clean it up and want to be wifey, what they do? Start changing how they dress, start going to church more often. Like, they be knowing what the path to success is. They just, go through a time period where they want to be a little selfish and not necessarily go down that road, but they be knowing. You know what I mean? But if you ask them to say it out loud, it don't sound good to be like, yeah, I knew I was wrong. It don't sound good. So you'll never get that response. But that's kind of crazy, man. And then this chick that's telling the story, I'm not fully bought in on her either. It ain't just your friends, birds of a feather. You was around them for a reason. You might have came to some realizations sooner than they did, changed who you were, and then that drove y'all friendship apart. Happens all the time. All friendships are not meant to be for a lifetime. Normal shit. But it's just like, this chick telling the story, I ain't bought in on her either. She ain't all the way. Listen, she part of this shit too. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at what I'm seeing right here. It's an assessment, not a judgment. Let's go.
Off the rip.
I'm coming to you, chat.
Now, mind you, she did used to tell me, about some things.
Matter of fact, y'all active. Let me catch up. Before I let her finish line. The tears down says soft. Yeah, people have become very soft. Souls of Thought said, when two or more wife talks together, they married. Facts. Soft Rain said, I agree with her about men being able to read women. Yeah. So why y'all? So, okay, not you, Soft Rain in particular, but y'all as like in the female species. If women understand that men know how to read them, why they still try to BS us? That's kind of crazy. Souls of Thought said, Rivah too much sauce. Nah, let women think the way they think. You don't think Rivah should be trying to help, huh? Soft Rain said, yes, presentation matters all day long. All day long. This the thing. They think if they say it out loud enough times that it'll actually stop mattering. No, it matters. Because female, I've seen the argument online where women be like, I should be able to wear whatever I want outside and nobody should do anything crazy. And it's like, yeah, you should. But is that reality? The end, right? The end. Is that reality? No. The end. Like, life don't operate off of should be's. It is what it is. It's literal. It is what it is a literal phrase. It is what it is one of the phrases in life that you can say and it'll always be true. It is what it is. Souls of Thought said, if you don't come submissive, you're not a wife. One said all this. If you don't come submissive, you're not a wife. Souls, you gonna start this today? This the direction you gonna go today? How many times? Listen, this a stalemate, souls. It's a stalemate. They gonna tell you that men have to earn submission, and that's their stance, man. The line has been drawn in the sand. Soft Rain said, generally speaking, women have the ability to finesse. Yeah, they just have the ability to finesse men who haven't learned the nature of the beast yet. I think, to a degree, most men go through a period in life, unless you bless like souls to have like a mom that kept it all the way $1 with you about females, which most of us don't, right? Most of us men, we have a mom that raised us to be a man that they never fucking met. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's one of them things where it's like, unless you bless like souls, you're gonna go through a period of time where you're finessable as a man. You're gonna go through a time where you're finessable. It might be when you 15, 16. You might get it out the way early, get finesse real good to the point where you understand when, you being marked, when you being treated like a mark. Once you understand that, when to walk away from these hoes, because they're going to keep trying to finesse. But if you know better, you do better. But I think all men go through a phase in their life for the most part where they're able to be finessed. And then you learn your lesson through experience, and hopefully you don't simp out. Souls of Thought said, no, Rivah said it. Oh, yeah. If you don't, Rivah always preaching the gospel. Yeah, if you don't come submissive, you're not a wife. Yeah, Rivah did say that. Hey, they gonna have to argue with Rivah on that one, souls. I feel you. Look, he took it off himself. The Tez down said harsh reality or uncomfortable truth. Same thing, Tez. Those that's synonymous. Them first cousins. Harsh reality and uncomfortable truth. Same shit. Soft Rain said agreed, classic. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the chat. Let's move.
blah blah. That's her business. But like for men to even pick that up, I'm talking about on the first meeting, and they're like being very, with her, and they wouldn't do that to me or my other or the other girl that we used to hang out with, our other friend. They would only do it to her. That's because they could pick up that spirit. I'm telling you, men can read low self-esteem, low self-worth. They can read if you want their attention. They can read it all.
Men are so good that they can read a woman even if she's in a precarious situation. They will still be able to decipher if she's a good woman or not. That's how good they are.
Yep.
Now, off of face value, if you walk like a duck, quack like a duck, they're going to consider you a duck. But then they might be in situations where they're like, oh, you were surrounded by ducks and raised by ducks, but you're actually a swan.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually a little bit different. This is a different type of breed. Hence why there will be, some women who, like I said, have been in, had a tumultuous past or whatever the case is, and they're still able to get into relationships or to build positive foundations in their future. And the reason why is because of the traits of who they are after a man has gotten to know them. Men are very good at seeing things for what they are. No fluff, no additives, seeing a woman in her truest nature.
Some of them are so good that they don't even have to have a conversation with you, sister. So what you post matters, what you wear, it matters. In how you move in the world, it matters. Even the conversation. I had a few videos back. I told y'all, watch what you say. Stop sharing everything. Be careful of what you say. Only say the minimum. I'm not saying you lie, but he don't need to know all of that.
Now, see, pay attention, gentlemen. Gentlemen, pay attention. Pay attention, because she's been preaching up to this point, and she has cleverly transitioned over into teaching a sorcery course. Classic. Listen to this transition. If y'all don't have y'all glasses on, I can't help you. If you got your glasses on, y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. This woman goes from preaching to God. She's been talking some good talk this whole time. I have not had, y'all see, I haven't been disagreeing with them. I've just been adding on at my male POV to these two beautiful sisters right here. But she just switched over into being professor of the sorcery course, level 1. Check this out. Watch this transition.
To his past or whatever the case is, and they're still able to get into relationships or to build positive foundations in their future. And the reason why is because of the traits of who they are after a man has gotten to know them. Men are very good at seeing things for what they are. No fluff, no additives, seeing a woman in her truest nature.
Yep. Watch this. Watch this.
Some of them are so good that they don't even have to have a conversation with you, sister. So what you post matters, what you wear, it matters. In how you move in the world, it matters. Even the conversation. I had a few videos back. I told y'all, watch what you say. Stop sharing everything. Be careful of what you say. Only say the minimum. I'm not saying you lie, but he don't need to know all of that. It's quite.
Hey, listen, she teaching a sorcery course. Shorty transitioned over into teaching manipulation to the queens. Did she not tell? Hey, chat, if I'm hearing it wrong, somebody please just let me know. I will not start an argument. I'm open to alternate perspectives. Sound like she just switched over into giving sorcery lessons. He said, no, let them tell on themselves. Okay, so I'm hearing it right. Thank you. Confirmation. I'm hearing it right. He said that's exactly what she did. She switched it quick. Okay, so I'm not tweaking. I thought I was glitching, chat. I thought I was glitching. She started telling him, don't tell the whole truth. Be a little quiet. And camera got the shaking and shit. Yeah, we know body language. 85% of communication is nonverbal. Camera get to moving and shit. Look, her smirk, eyebrows went up, smirk different. Yeah. She teaching that sorcery. Yup. Delilah jumped right out, didn't she? Classic. Now listen, I was with you, sister. I was with you. I'm still with you, but come on now. We gotta call it. We gotta call a spade a spade. Souls of Thought said, hold on, let me catch up on all the comments. Matter of fact, while we here, let's do it. Soft Rain said men have that fifth sense. Oh, so we got that men tuition. We got men's tuition. Souls of Thought said women overlooking those vital parts of how Rivah said women present what they want to be. Yeah. Yeah, he said women overlooking that. That's what she got to preach every day. You know what I'm saying? To get through. The Tez Down said presentation is so important. Absolutely. And you know what? More so than presentation being important, how you truly desire in your heart to present yourself is important. Because just because you putting on, you know, a business casual women's suit and you presenting a certain way, but in your spirit, you'd rather have on some Daisy Dukes for real. I mean, the whole spirit is still upon you. You just know how to masquerade. Classic. You know, I think what's in your heart, what they say, God measures the intentions. Yeah. Do you have a pure, is your soul pure, or is it just your outfit? You know, Souls of Thought said, Rain, you don't have to agree with us today. I'm on my best behavior. The Cowboys playing. Absolutely. How about them Cowboys? Classic. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Tez Down said, nah, let them tell on themselves. That boy crazy. I knew I was hearing that right. That's exactly what she did. Souls of Thought said, yep, what Asker brother talked to Jazz last night. Oh, taught Jazz last night. Did he teach her? Because, I mean, if you stand in front of the class and you present the lesson, but nobody learned, did you teach that day? That's a question. That's a real question. If you stand in front of the class and present the lesson, but nobody learned, did you teach that day? It's a great question. The Tez Down said eyebrows got super tall on God. That sorcerer, that witch jumped out. The Tez Down, we on the same wavelengths. Absolutely. I thought I was the only one that caught that. Switched over into some smooth bullshit. Jay Zilla said 333, the codes. My vision for where we go is to have tact. I believe in Rivah. Debunk the sound of pursuers and the spider. The Tez Down said she wasn't listening. Soft Rain, no, you just projected information. Who projected information? Soft Rain, I heard her wrong. You talking about me? I'm gonna wait. I want to see. Let's roll. I want to see. You talking about me? I heard her wrong. Let me know.
Frankly, it's none of his business. But like, yeah, I picked that up on watching a lot of men podcasts and things like that. Like, as much as I would like to get on here and say that they be over exaggerating, no, they're very good at reading people. They are very good. Even when they read each other, even when they read another man, men know when other men are full of it. I mean, look at the situation going on right now with the guy who is a baby mama maker. Look at that situation. Look at how the men are chiming in. They're very good, and I suggest to all the women out there who are actively dating and seeking relationships with men, and I suggest to the women who are actively dating and seeking relationship with men, I'm only talking to y'all, I suggest you get on and listen to some of these podcasts that they're listening to. Not the podcasts where they're pandering to women, but the podcasts where they're talking about women and they're talking about the women that they do and do not like. And I'm not asking you to subject yourself to what they do and not like, do like, whatever. I'm asking you to listen to how they describe women, listen to their experiences, and that will tell you a lot about how they assess you.
Mm.
They are very attentive. Like, men are very attentive, and it taught me something just in watching them. And I don't care about their opinions about certain stuff, whatever. It's about the detail. It's about being able to read people very well just by how they walk and talk, and how they answer questions, because nobody is different.
I want to say this. Two things I disagree with. I disagree that you should not be open and honest when you are in the dating phase with somebody. Or no, here's the thing. If you're going on a first, second, third date as a woman with a man, I don't think that you need to spill all your guts on the table. I don't think you need to
Come
do all
on,
that.
man. Can she be more perfect, chat? Classic. Come on. I just got done saying she started teaching a sorcery course. Rivah been agreeing with her up to this point too. And she just stopped and said something I disagree with about being fully honest. Can she be more perfect, chat? Classic. I haven't watched this. I didn't know she was going to agree with me. Shout out to Rivah TV.
But I think that once it develops into something that you see a future with them, I think it is important so that they know what they're getting themselves into. The same way that you want them to be transparent, and you know what you're getting yourself into. That's one. Two, I think that it is important to hear the consensus of what men do and don't like. I think that's important. And I think it should matter to you as a woman what men do and don't like. Because if you want to be in a relationship with men and men are telling you across the board that they don't like certain things, I think you need to keep that in mind. You know, if you're dressing for the female gaze, or I don't care what men think, I care what my girls think, like, you're only going to be appeasing women. You're not going to be appeasing the men that you say that you actually want to be in a relationship with.
You know, everything has already been written. People may think that they are real and different and they one of one or whatever, but patterns in everything have already been written, right? Patterns will help save us all in general. So recognizing the patterns in people will tell you a lot about a person. And I highly suggest that you just stay I highly suggest that you stay, like, I don't want to say vigilant, but you just stay, you know, proactive, right? You always paying attention. And this can translate into how you read men, right? You should be able to read men. You know, there's no two men that are different, right? All of them are, you know.
I disagree with this. I definitely disagree with this. There was a conversation that I had that, you know, somebody was saying that they feel like there's only like maybe 5 or 6 different people in the world, as in traits, personality, stuff like that. And then like after a while, like, you know, that's why you can work at one job and say, for instance, you go to another job and you can identify like, oh, that this person would technically be this person from the last job. Like the personality traits are extremely similar, and you go to a different job and the same kind of thing. But people are different. But if you know the basis of how to analyze people and listen to the things that they are saying as well as the things that they're not saying, body language, energy, and all those things, then you will have the ability to truthfully understand what it is that you're actually getting yourself into. And so, but I don't agree that all men are the exact same. That's just not true. They might have, you know, similar traits, but they're not all the exact same. You can't paint men or women with one brush. That just isn't realistic.
I agree. I agree. You definitely have to allow for nuance. There's just foundational things that apply to most, and that's why generalizations are reasonable to discuss. I agree in totality. I agree wholeheartedly. Generalizations are okay to discuss because there are foundational things that are similar throughout the majority of all men and the majority of all women. But then there's a myriad of nuances that makes us different, that gives us personality, that gives us individuality, that makes us a one of one. So you have to, you know, just understand when you're talking about something that is applicable in mass versus something that is applicable just to you. And yeah. So let's go.
There's groups and, you know, things like that, but men are the same. Like, you know, they all have their little groups. You can tell that when a man is a good guy, or you can tell when a man is, you know, going to waste your time, or you could start to pick up on this as you start to, you know, pay attention and analyze them. But I'm gonna have to give it to them. Men are very good at reading people. Go ask your homeboys, go ask your brothers, go ask your uncles, men that are going to keep it real with you and that won't sleep with you. Ask them about how they read women, and I'm telling you, they're so good at it. From broke to poor to rich to everybody, all of them, they're very good at reading women. That's how they can single some of you out.
It's crazy because I've had this argument before, like not an argument because I refuse to argue with women. It's one of my codes. It's one of my policies. I don't argue with women, but I've had this conversation before that turned into a debate. But just it's one of those things where it's like women will tell us that we can't tell when a woman is a 304 or used to be a 304. And we absolutely can. If you put 1,000 women in a room and just let them interact and move around in a room and just let me observe, and I get to assess yes or no to did this woman have a 304 phase, I promise you, I bet good money that I'm shooting 98% from the field on assessing whether or not a female did or did not have a 304 phase just from watching, pure observation, no conversation. 98% from the field, for sure. We could just tell. It leave a little something on you. It leaves something on you. You know what I'm saying? We just good at reading. You know what I'm saying? You could tell, and that's why we always, you know, stress the fact that it's important to stay away from even going through certain things if you can. Like if you can get good information from a man as a woman, if you can get good information from a man and take that advice young before like going crazy and making some wild ass mistakes all through your 20s and shit like that. If you can do that, like it's putting you well ahead of the curve in regards to securing a husband if that's important to you. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times like the good advice get passed over. Great advice. Rivah got so many subscribers, and I guarantee you the vast majority of them are probably males though. And that's crazy because the people that need to hear it the most are women. And I know I'm well aware, like with my content, when we do reaction videos like this, I'm well aware that only certain type of women are going to want to listen to this type of content, because the ones who, you know, don't want to learn from this, it's gonna turn them off. You know what I mean? It's gonna turn them off 100%. So it's only certain types of women that even want to stand in the paint and even listen to men's honesty on a regular basis. It's only certain type of women that want to do that. Because you got to ask yourself, if I sit here and I stream every single day, as a man, and I give y'all male POV, and I don't always discuss women. That's a fact. I don't always discuss women. I go days without doing content like this. But even when I do though, it's from a position of like, hey, here's the cold hard truth about this shit. And if you want certain results, like this should be something where you like, you know, you got your pad and you like, okay, they so not just the host saying this, but it's 5 dudes in the chat saying this. Okay, I think this must be what men, you know what I'm saying? What men are, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm, you know, like that ass stuff. It shouldn't be off-putting, unbecoming. It shouldn't be none of that. You know what I'm saying? This should be useful information. The women who liked Kevin Samuels got husbands. Go back right now on Kevin Samuels' channel, and he had a celebration show where he did hours of people just calling in and thanking him. Married couples calling in crying, talking about you saved our marriage. People who got married because of him calling in, crying, thanking him, celebrating him, giving him his flowers while he was still alive. Women who like Kevin Samuels got results. So, you know, the ones who want to have, you know, oh, I didn't like the way he said it. Oh, he's rude and brash. Oh, okay, do you want results? All the rest of this emotional shit you talking about, do you want results?
Classic.
That's what it come down to. That's the beginning and the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Let me catch up. See, Rain, this goes with my challenge. Rivah cooking, kind of upset. Classic. Could have played our last night show. Rain, LOL. We literally ended on this. It was a little different, I think. I feel. Y'all ended on this one? I don't remember that. You know what, man? Last night was a long night. Jay Zilla said, let's go, Rivah. This person is spinning a web. Everybody worried about the snake, but she can be a spider woman or a bat woman. Real poetic shit. Soft Rain said, we did, souls. Damn. You know what? But I wasn't watching. This the video y'all used? I wasn't watching. I was just listening. The Tez Down said, all they got to do is start talking, and I know. Oh, you got to hear him talk? I don't even got to hear him talk. The Tez Down said they don't even need to be talking. Yeah. I don't even got to hear him talk. At Souls, facts, you covered it well. LOL, not even. It's given. Souls of Thought said, most women think they are game changers, but they ultimately just game managers. Oh, the topic. Okay. Not the video, just the same content. Okay. I got y'all. The Tez Down said Batwoman is at Queen of Accountability. I feel that. Shout out to Queen of Accountability. All right, we almost there, y'all. Let's go.
To take advantage of or to, you know, finesse and get things out of, because they can read you very well, like a book, actually.
Yeah, and that's why, like, even when it comes to like negotiations and stuff like that, like men are really good. They know they know what angles, what things to say. Like men are just good at logical things. They're really great at that. That's their strong suit. Where women are more emotional and sometimes less logical, Men are, that's their strong suit. They can see something. They're very like they're like a database, right? Like they can just analyze, group things together, figure things out, put the puzzle pieces together. Hence why, as a woman, if you understand that men are good at analyzing women, and men are very logical thinkers, and men are usually on point, now let's just play back all the things that men say about women currently.
Come on, let's go.
Just think about that.
Come on, Rivah.
Just think about all the different conversations, the podcast, whatever. Let's just think about the situation and the air that we're in right now, currently. And now rewind the time, rewind the tape, and just think about the fact that men are great at analyzing people. Now you're gonna start looking at your homegirls different. Now you're going to start looking at the women around you different. Now you're going to start looking at trends on TikTok or on social media very differently. Because once you see that, once your eyes are opened logically, it's very difficult for people to throw a facade at you. It's very difficult because you see them coming a mile away.
Classic.
100%. I absolutely agree with what she said in this conversation. I 100% agree. Not with everything. I told you things I didn't agree with, but I agree that men are very good at reading women, reading people, and are very good at analyzing situations and people. Hence why I always say it is an asset to have a man in your life. It is an asset.
We're going to stop right there. It is an asset to have a man in your life. Shout out to Rivah TV. Make sure that y'all tap in with Rivah. Go hit that subscribe button on her channel. If you're trying to become a wife and you aren't already, go hit the subscribe button on that channel. If you, like me, just like listening to wife talk, because women speak two different languages in this part of the world. One of those languages is that of a wife, or a woman who is fit to be a wife. And then the second language is that of a woman who will be chronically single. Two different languages. That's it. There's no third language. There's no option C. Classic. That's just what it is. But one more time, shout out to Rivah TV. That's it on the reaction. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch. www.theclassiccodes.com. Or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes. Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden the flow.